The event has asked whether it's policy, product or people that are mostly responsible for accelerating the uptake of electric vehicles. In my view, it's not actually helpful to split those out. They all drive each other. But if I were to choose one of them, I would actually say it was policy that was most important. I'd say that policy drives what the manufacturers do through product policy, through regulation, and policy drives what consumers do through incentivisation in terms of vehicle taxation, but also presenting the right signals so that they know what to do. There's no bigger barrier to consumer behaviour than complexity.
So I think for us, to try and identify the most important piece of the strategy, we've got to look at both the people, the products and the policies. But it's actually really important to look at all three of those, and I'd probably add in the fourth, the perceptions.
The delivery of the measures set out in the Road to Zero will require more collaboration, more partnerships and more joint working between all of us. And there's no one better right now at providing government with that high level of engagement than the LowCVP.
Between people, product and policy, I think they actually hold a very strong place, and it's quite hard to say which one needs to come first. I personally believe that the three of them together are a bit of a chicken and egg situation. Until you don't have the right product, people don't have the right choice. And policy needs to look at what people want and what product is out there, supply and demand, in order to make a decision. So actually, you find that all three of them will be looking at each other for the answer. And therefore I believe that actually they all need to three move together in the same direction, and policy sometimes just edges over the other two to try and really help drive that ambition.
We surveyed more than 10,000 drivers, and we found that the kind of perceived barriers to stop people buying electric vehicles were the lack of charging points, so they look around the street, they don't see that many. The cost of the vehicles, they still see that the cost of electric vehicles compared to the equivalent petrol or diesel is higher. And then thirdly was the old favourite of range anxiety. They don't think the cars go far enough on one charge. And that's despite the fact that 95% of journeys are actually under 25 miles. So any EV would actually cater for 95% of those journeys straight away. However, those are the perceived barriers, so we need to overcome that.
The Road to Zero is a fantastic opportunity to bring consumer awareness of electric vehicles to the forefront of people's minds. That means that government and industry need to work together to increase consumer acceptance and awareness of electric vehicles by promoting the positive benefits of the cars and allaying misconceptions that we know exist around charging, cost and range.
Neither government nor industry can tackle these challenges in isolation, and more than ever before we need our towns and cities to help lead the way, and we all need to work together to engage and to communicate effectively with people.
So one thing we were pleased about from the Road to Zero strategy from the government was its focus on electric vehicle charging infrastructure, which we thought was very positive. On the flip side, one thing we were disappointed by was that the government is going rather slow on electric vehicle deployment in the country. The 2040 phase out that we're preparing ourselves towards is rather slow. We instead call for a 2030 phase out of conventional vehicles in Britain.
The challenge as National Grid as an infrastructure provider is we're paying more attention really to the National Infrastructure Assessment. If you bring the two documents together, that gives a really clear direction of travel that articulates the need of the country and how infrastructure can be the enabler and not the barrier.
So here today, we're bringing everyone together to try and create a platform whereby we can collaborate to really work those three aspects together and deliver the Road to Zero strategy.